Hello everyone and welcome to the Bridgend Political Owl page. I'm doing a short video today on an article I read in News from Wales. It's a statement from Ogmore MS, Huw Irranca-Davies, about a perfect storm that's coming for people in Bridgend with everything that's going on. Price rises, universal credit cut and furlough scheme ending. In this article, Mr. Irranca-Davies was very critical of the UK government, which is understandable. They've done a lot of things that have been a mistake, and not everybody agrees with everything they're doing. I am a beneficiary myself of universal credit, and I will be losing my uplift. I've been told my last payment will be on the 12th of October. Yes, it's not an ideal situation, and so many people are going to struggle without that £20 uplift. But all the blame can't be laid at the UK government. We've got a Welsh government here at the moment that's been Labour-led since its Hello everyone, welcome to the Bridgend Political Owl page. I'm doing a short video today about an article I read in News from Wales. It's an article with a statement from MS Huw Irranca-Davies in regards to a perfect storm that's going to be hitting people in Bridgend with the cancellation of the universal credit uplift, furlough scheme coming to an end, Brexit and other things in there. Now, in this article, Mr. Irranca-Davies firmly lays the blame, and nobody else except the UK government, the Conservatives and Boris Johnson, this. Yes, Boris Johnson, the Conservatives do have a lot to answer for, and there are a lot of problems that have been caused by them. But the blame doesn't firmly lay at their feet, just at their feet. You can't criticise others in government when your government yourself has made mistakes, and by not acknowledging those mistakes you make out that you're perfect, we've done everything correctly and nothing's gone wrong, when we know in Welsh government there's a lot that's gone wrong. Now, we'll start on Brexit. Yes, a lot of people didn't like Brexit, but the country voted to come out and we have now come out. The Welsh government can't just blame the UK government for failing to prepare for this, for failing to prepare the country, because the Welsh government knew we were coming out ourselves and they could have prepared better as well. And then they'll say, oh, but we wanted more things to look after, more devolved powers and things like that. That's great, that's fine, well and good. We'd love more devolved powers in Wales, but you're not doing well with the ones you've already got devolved. The NHS in Wales, despite pumping more and more money in every year, when everything else has had to be cut, you still got a lot of NHS trusts in special measures that are failing. The reports coming out every year and problems. So if you also look at the education system in Wales, we've been falling down the education table, the world education table, since 1999, since the powers have been devolved and things like that. So you're not doing well with the powers that are devolved, so why should you be trusted with more powers to be devolved? Until you sort out your own mess, you can't then go on at others when they make a mess and you're not acknowledging your own. Huw Irranca-Davies has criticised this is going to hit families hard in Bridgend with the universal credit cut and the furlough scheme ending, Brexit and everything that's going, price rising with energy and food price rising and shortage of jobs. Shortage of workers, sorry, not jobs. But if Labour Party and that were so concerned, and that why then did the council, the Labour-led council in Bridgend, vote for over 3% rise in council tax this year when it was not needed? Recently an audit came out that they have £95 million in reserves, and the auditor said that these reserves were higher than what they should be holding anyway. So there was no need for a council tax rise. The council tax has risen year on year. I've been a community councillor since 2017, and in 2017 councillors were sent to Bridgend Council for a town community council meeting, and in that meeting we were advised Bridgend County needed to save over 35 million pound over the next 4 or 5 years, over the next term of this council. Obviously that was not the case, because now you've got reserves of 95 million. Okay, I understand there are projects that need to be done, there are services that need to be, like new schools, new traffic systems and things like that, but these things aren't being done well. You've got a failing system where you've got kids who live next to a school but have to walk past two primary schools to get to the school that they've been allocated, because the first school is not big enough for them to clean, and it's a brand new school. Well, fairly brand new, a few years old now, but it's a fairly new school. Yes, invest in the education system, have brand new schools, have the latest technology and everything like that. But the biggest asset for any school is its teachers, is its staff, the support staff, the training assistants. So invest in that. People in Bridgend wouldn't mind these council tax rises if they were getting good value for their service. Bridgend is one of the highest council tax rates in the UK, higher than a lot of places in London, and yet we're not getting the services for that. So the Welsh government has wasted a lot of money over the years. We've got the M4 relief road that went on for donkey's years, and in the end it was scrapped, and they spent hundreds of millions of pounds on plans and this and whatever. Then you've got the Ebbw Raceway. That was so shocking that a report came out criticising the people who were in charge of overseeing that in Welsh Government, that nothing was done correctly. So before you complain about the Conservatives, and I'm not a Conservative, yes, I do. My political lines lie between both Labour, Conservative, and other things like that. I am an independent, and that I've never voted Conservative. I have voted Labour once in my life, and that was it. Since then, I've voted basically independent, if I believed in the candidate of where I was living. But you can't go about and say, oh, this is the fault of the UK, just the UK government. It's not. You've got your own faults, and you've got to acknowledge the faults that you've created as well. You've got, as I said, you've got an NHS system in Wales that a lot of the areas are in special measures, or there's been so many problems. An education system that we're just going backwards in our ranking, in the rankings tables. We're not moving forward. Yes, you've had a big success with the recycling rates in Wales. That is great, saving our planet, but you've got to do everything else. So if you want devolved laws from the UK government, you've got to be doing a good job with the ones you've already got. So it's not just the UK government's fault, it's a Welsh Assembly government's fault as well. You need to acknowledge your own faults, Mr. Irranca-Davies, and there are many of them. There are many that people have personally, but it's not just all the Welsh government's fault. It's local governments, whether it's a Labour-led council or Conservative-led council or an independent-led council. We've seen it across a lot of councils in Wales that there are struggling, and not all of them are run by Labour. So I'm not just going to blame Labour on the council side of it, but as Huw Irranca-Davies is using Bridgend as an example, which he's entitled to. It's his constituency that he represents, so he's going to use that as an example. So we'll use that as an example. Bridgend Council's been failing for many years, and I'm not blaming the Labour Party people individually, because there's a lot of good Labour councillors, but there are a few bad ones as well. And the problem is with local government, when you get a party in power, they vote en bloc for anything. I can't believe there was not one Labour councillor who thought during the last vote on raising the taxes in Bridgend, thought, well, this isn't a good idea. We're still in a pandemic, we're still in lockdown, and people are finding it hard to pay for bills anyway. So I can't believe there was not one Labour councillor who thought it was who thought that this raising council tax is a good idea. The majority of community councils in Bridgend froze or even lowered their community council precepts because they knew that people are struggling. Yes, we didn't spend all our monies during the pandemic because a lot of things we wanted to do were put on hold. We couldn't move forward, so we had the money. And it turns out Bridgend County Council had the money. They had the money to offset any council tax rise. They could have even lowered council tax in a time when it was desperately needed. And we're talking about a perfect storm that's coming up now with rising energy costs. People panic buying fuel that's creating a fuel shortage. It wasn't there before. There was a couple of issues down in south east England, that in Milton Keynes, I believe it was, or somewhere around Kent. Irresponsible media reporting. I believe in a free press, but I believe you should have a responsible press that reports things responsibly. And this has created a panic buy situation, which has led to shortages, long queues. There is enough fuel in this country to keep people going. We've got fuel there, so don't do that. But Bridgend County Borough Council, the Labour-led council, you've made mistakes. You could have lowered council tax this year as a gesture to people. I make a prediction now, and I'm guessing next year council tax rise will be very low, if at all, because they have got these reserves, and the audit came back that they shouldn't have this much reserves. It is too much. Just do things better. Work for your communities. Work for the people you were elected to represent. Not just those who support you, but those who challenge you as well. Because that's what you should be doing, whether they agree with you or not. If there's a problem and they talk to you, listen to them and do whatever you can to help. Politics shouldn't become a part of that. Politics should be left out the window. At local level especially, use your own conscience to vote the way you think is correct for the people you represent, not a way a party wants. And you can't say, well, we do vote the way we want, because you're voting en bloc on things. So, I can't believe there's not one person in there to say, well, hang on, this is wrong, so I'm going to either abstain or vote against. And it's, oh, we don't force people to vote the same way, there's never any repercussions. And we know that's a lie. We've seen it in the past, and we've seen it in the quite recent past, before the previous election. And good councillors are being deselected because they disagree and they try to think for themselves, and they think for their residents and put their residents first and what they want. I hope the Welsh Assembly government does turn around and say, yeah, we have made mistakes. We're going to try and do better. We're going to be more robust in what we do and how we do things, instead of just throwing money out the window, instead of just ploughing into money into something to solve a problem which obviously isn't working, because you ploughed so much money into the NHS in Wales, and it's keeping failing. So nothing's changing until you change and work out what the problem is. Throwing money at it is not going to solve that problem. Council budgets have been cut, and that's been blamed on Westminster giving less and less money every year. Partly true, but you've got to go back, not just include the Conservative government, but the previous Labour government in Westminster, when things were done the wrong way. Oh, but Labour created all these jobs. Yes, Labour created jobs in the public sector. A lot of jobs in the public sector, which comes with consequences further down the line, which councils and Westminster and the Welsh Assembly government are dealing with now. When you employ a lot of people in the public sector, given the thing, you have to provide a pension as well. Those pensions mature, and more money is having to go into them, so less and less money is available for things. So it's not just a Conservative government. They've done a lot of bad things. They've done a lot of wrong things. Lib Dems, when they were in coalition, did the same thing. They royally thingied over students with the student cap and went against election promises. Everybody goes against election promises in government. They do. Sometimes they have to. They have no choice, but they do, unfortunately. So, Huw Irranca-Davies, I challenge you to step up as a representative of the people of Bridgend, of Ogmore. Step up and be counted. Don't just criticise the UK government. Criticise your own government for doing what they have done wrong as well. That'll make you a better person to listen to. We don't expect you to get things right all the time, but we expect you to acknowledge when you got things wrong and look to put them right. So I challenge that of any leader of the council, any councils, any councillor, any member of the Senate. Challenge yourselves to do better for the people you represent. Don't make it about, oh, they did this, they did that. Acknowledge that, yeah, they did this, but we did that, and it's created a problem. Let's find a way to solve it. Let's work together. And that's the problem. People don't work together anymore. It's this party against this party against this party against this independent against this. And that's not what people want. No, it's not what people want. It's not what people need. People need you to work better for them, to do better for them. Thank you for that. I advise you to go read the article on Wales Online. I've forgotten what they're called. News from Wales. I apologise. Go read the article. It's very interesting. Later today, I will be doing an interview with Councillor Tom Gifford and MS Tom Gifford. So that's going to be a good one. I look forward to that. I've got a few questions from residents to ask Councillor Gifford. It would be good to get some insight into how a member of the Senedd works as well, and how the jobs compare. And we've got somebody who works both as a community councillor, county councillor, and a member of the Senedd, so they can compare the roles and things like that. So thank you everyone for listening. I will see you again soon, later today. Have a good day. Bye.